Hello and welcome. In this module, we will learn how to reap as much profit as we can from a sales funnel, which is by including in it a second and third upsell. This inclusion of a second and third upsell may be a bit tricky, as it may upset and annoy a few customers. So it definitely cannot be done haphazardly. What you need in order to pull a second and third upsell off is method. And now, we are going to explore that method. First of all, what is a second and third upsell? Well, it is exactly what the name is implied, which is a second and third upsell that comes after the first upsell. The first upsell is, of course, an addition to the original product that sells at a higher price because of its higher value. The purpose of having that upsell is so that the customer can ease into buying a higher priced product. Now, second and third upsell is taking that method a few steps further. With that being said, the second and third upsell should be priced higher than the first upsell, and the first upsell obviously is priced higher than the original product. Remember that this second and third upsell are products with higher value and higher price. If they're not, they don't belong in a second and third upsell. If the customer purchases a product and you go on selling something with a lower price and value than that product, it will throw the customer off, and you'll lose the chance to make big profit. Now we know what a second and third upsell do, but what should they be? The second and third upsell should be congruent with the first upsell, which means they are congruent with the original front-end product. But of course, the products sold as second and third upsell should be of higher value. It should be way higher than the original front-end product, but still should be at an acceptable increase from the first upsell. The price range for the prices of second and third upsell will be discussed later on in this module. So what products should we sell as the second and third upsell? As mentioned, you must first look at the original product and the first upsell and make sure that your second and third upsell are congruent with them. But that would not be enough to convince someone to make a purchase. What you should do is to find products that would solve problems for the purchasers of your original front-end product. This would require you to forecast the problems the customers might face when they use your product. Find out what they might need. However, it's important to note here that what you're selling as second and third upsell are enhancements or additional tools. They are not missing parts of the product. As a vendor, you shouldn't take out a chunk from the original product, rendering it incomplete, and then sell them the missing chunk. It's not ethical, and your customers will not appreciate it. Why do we need a second and third upsell? Isn't one upsell enough? Well, technically, one upsell is enough if your aim in business is just to get by. A second and third upsell are so that we can maximize profit from a sales funnel. An upsell has already proven to work and sell, but as entrepreneurs, we must always want to go further and see how far we can stretch ourselves. Should we limit ourselves so that we can play safe? Of course not. Maximize the profit you can get from a sales funnel. As mentioned, it's not really easy to pull off, which is why it must be done with method. Also, the customers could always use some additional tools to go along with the original product. The reason they would buy a second and third upsell is so that they too can maximize the product they've purchased from you. When you're offering a second and third upsell as additional tools to them, they would appreciate the extra hand that would help them with your product. One of the reasons for the sales of second and third upsell is that when the customers make a purchase, they enter a state of buying trance or buying frenzy. It means that the customers are in the mood to shop, and it usually would mean buying more than one product. It's easier to sell them products at this point, especially when you sell the products as additional tools to the original product that they've just purchased from you. This is why it's a great idea to push the upsell a little further. What should the prices be for the second and third upsell? The prices are set by you, the vendor, of course. However, it's recommended that you do not go higher than $200. Based on experience, a product more than $200 usually doesn't sell that well in a second or third upsell. This is just based on experience, but in the end, it's still up to you. The prices of the upsells should go higher at every level. The second upsell should be higher than the first one, and the third one should be higher than the second one, and so on and so forth. But it's not enough that only the prices increase. The value must too. Enhancing the value of the second and third upsell. We know now that because of the price increase, the value has to increase too. But how do we do it when what we're selling is just an addition for the customers? Well, the value of the products can be increased substantially by adding mega bonuses along with the deal. Add as many bonuses as you can to the upsells. Now, how do we sell a second and third upsell? As mentioned, even with the customers in a buying trance, it's still a challenge to sell them the upsells. So a lot more effort has to be put in order to close a deal. A sales letter alone may not be enough anymore. You may need to include a video to capture their attention and communicate with them about your product even better. But essentials of selling a second and third upsell are these. First, establish the reasons why your customers need these products you're selling at a higher price. What do these products do? How can they help? As mentioned earlier on, these products you're selling here are upgrades or additional tools, not missing parts of the product. If you deliberately take a part out of the main product so that you can sell it to the customers later, it would upset them and your credibility will be tainted. It's also unethical, to say the least. In business, be wary when you've upset a customer. No one knows how big their reach is and how severe the damage they can do to your reputation that will affect your sales in the future. Be a responsible entrepreneur. And again, ultimately, the important part of selling here is telling the customers the reasons for buying this new product, which is to enhance the product they've purchased from you. Also, when you sell the upsell 2 and 3, remember to put in the scarcity factor in your sales pitch. Instill a sense of urgency for them to make the purchase. You can do this by making the deal a limited time offer. This works for all kinds of sales that you make online or even in real life. But this method is needed here because the upsells are a little more expensive. So the customers who have seen or read your sales pitch need a little more convincing. Remember, they are in a buying trance. So what you need to do is give them a big push to click the buy button, and the scarcity factor works really well for that. This is one of the most powerful methods in selling. To complement the scarcity factor, you also need a strong and convincing call to action. If you're still not familiar with what call to action is, it is exactly what the term implies. It is the call for the customers to take action. For example, it can be like, get this product now, or click buy to get this awesome deal now. The call to action culminates the whole sales script or ad copy, so do pay attention to how well it's presented and written. Your call to action needs to be active, depending on what product you sell. If you sell a personal development product, then you can employ a gentler tone. But for most products, create enthusiasm and energy. Be active, like, get this product now. And your call to action, most importantly, must stand out. The second and third upsell must be something exclusive. Here's an idea if you don't know what kind of product you should use: a membership site. A membership site is a big-ticket product because of its exclusivity. All members of a membership site have access to exclusive contents that are otherwise restricted to other visitors. Usually, the exclusive contents are made available to the members on a monthly basis. Each month that they're active, they have to make payment, which means a membership site provides monthly income for you.